Hello. So tonight I'm gonna do a project using the house patterns. So I already cut it apart, just so you can, I'll just kind of show some of the pieces. And I'll show you what they're gonna go on. So there's a couple of different patterns. So these are the pattern portions, and I think these are really great because you can use them on other things too. It doesn't have to just be the houses, which I'll show in just a second. So all these pieces, the little doors and windows, and then there are some sayings as well, and family. This all comes as one, but again, I wanted to just, cut it apart because, nobody wants to sit here and watch me cut stuff. And just remember to, I do have a Sharpie. You always want to make sure that you mark the back so that you know after you wash them and you go to put them back on, you know which side. I would say, at least until you get familiar with that. But also, if you're going to be working on multiple transfers, that's a great idea. Then you know what goes back on what. So these are so adorable. They're just like wooden cutouts. You can kind of see they have like a little wood grain. And these are from Couture. They're double-sided. They are a single use though. So, I guess you could really use them again if you kind of washed off your design, and then but you definitely would have to paint them in some way because whatever you use is gonna stain it. So they come 2 to a package. I'll just put the box over there. These are really cute, and they're nice too because they they're thick enough that they can stand up by themselves. So I will tell you today I was outside for a long time. I cut all these different things. Not these, and I have some really, really cool projects planned. Let me just move these out of the way. But before I do that, I went through my colors, and I was trying to find, I don't have the right color green. I kind of wanted more of a sage green. So I'm taking, this is honeydew, and then this is garden herb. And I have an empty container from, I just save when I finish off a piece. I keep the empty container. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix 2 colors together. And I figure, I'll use this again. So that's why, I'll just kind of put it in something. Because if I mixed it on the side and then just kind of, scraped it off and used it and everything, I'm not going to be able to, put it back in the, container, obviously. So this one probably shouldn't have opened it up and let it sit here a little bit. So I just I'm looking for more a sage green. I'm pretty sure there actually is that color available. I just don't happen to have it. But this is a great way to kind of expand your colors when you only have a couple. Kind of go back to that elementary school art class. I definitely need a little water in here. And, just kind of mix to get the color you want. So yeah, I have let's see, what did I cut? I cut out the truck. Did a cutout of that? Some birds, a birdhouse, a whole bunch of different things. Right, this is kind of pretty close to the color that I want. And it's just, it's pretty easy to mix together. Just kind of want to make sure I don't have any little clumps of one color or another. Well, maybe a little darker. I should have. You can do the same thing with the ink as well. When I first started using the inks, I only had like a few colors, and that's, you know, I did a floral piece, and when I went to do it, I was so excited, and then I was like, oh, like I only have a couple of colors, but by just mixing them together, gives you so many more. The only thing is if you want to create the same color again, you're kind of, you know, you gotta just kind of wing it. All right, so, okay, that's pretty good. All right, so the two I'm gonna use are gonna be these two. And let's see. So now I haven't used this transfer before, so when it's the first time using it, you always want to make sure, especially on a surface like this, that you fuzz the transfer. So get like a little bit of the sticky off. This is a fuzzing cloth, but you can use a towel. If I'm doing a lot of projects, I just put a towel out on the kitchen counter, and I use that to, you know, to fuzz the transfers, and then when I go to dry them, when I dry them, I just put them on with the sticky side up, you know, so just kind of do it a couple times. And then just kind of line it up. I just want to make sure that, oh, let me just get a little further up here. Hold on. That's the only bad thing is sometimes it's hard to like have it turned for your view. All right, and again, you know, just make sure you don't have air bubbles. All right, so I'll just put that one aside for a second. And when you're peeling them off, make sure you really like either set it down like that, or you make sure you have a good grip on it, because if I kept going, that would have flopped back over and stuck to itself. And that's like never fun. So just kind of a couple times. You can also, like if you have jeans on, or you know, something, or sweatshirt or something, just stick it right on your clothes. Now this one I'm going to be a little more careful, because obviously, you know, I don't want to have it crooked. I want to make sure my lines are going to look nice and straight. Just going in this direction, I don't even know how I'm going to be able to tell, but just kind of like go by my spacing on the side. It's very, very slight like overhang of the open area. So hopefully this is good. But I feel like that's kind of like a awful noise. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Let me just make sure this is good now. Well, this isn't quite sage green, but that's all right. Let's see, I'll use one of these guys to get it out of there. All right. Well, there might be some kind of streaks of either shade of green that's in here, but that's all right. I just want to bring it over. Yeah, this is definitely not really the color I was looking for, but maybe once I peel it off and you see all the white I won't mind it so much. And you just want to get all your open areas. And try to get rid of any little lines. Okay. Like, I don't know where to grab it from here. Just trying to grab it where there's no design. Alright, I'm just going to put that to the side. And I definitely stuck my finger in it, but that's alright. So there's one. You could actually take that and go turn it and go back the other way and make almost like a plaid if you wanted to. Alright, so we'll do this one now. Actually, I just kind of put a whole bunch on. Now I just saw this, because this is a paste that I kind of mixed together. So there is like a chunk in it, but that's alright. You don't have to use a lot of pressure doing this. You're just kind of just moving the paste around. Oops. But again, you do want to work quickly, especially when it's like a wood surface like this. I feel like it kind of sucks the paste in and makes it dry like a little faster. So this is, let's see, the cutouts they've done. There was pumpkins, trees, the eggs, which I never even got the eggs. They sold out very quickly. The seasonal ones, I think they don't repeatedly make them, but like these houses will be available for a while. All right, maybe this way will be easier. So you can kind of start it from the side, but you don't want to, sorry, I'm like trying to grab this here. You don't want to like pull it from a corner. Yeah, that was definitely easier. Also doesn't help that I got paste on my finger either. Okay. So we're all done with the color that I made. And I just flicked it on the side there. So I'm just gonna, that was lucky. And I'm just gonna close it up so it doesn't dry out. So those are my little patterned houses. I've seen a couple people do these where they just kind of take the same, the same couple of patterns or the same pattern, and they just go and they, do it in all different colors, put it on a mantle. It looks really cool. I just want to let this, yeah, it's definitely not dry at all. I want to do another one on it, maybe like a Home Sweet Home. Just to kind of, so we'll do that, but we're gonna wait. We could do like, just to show you other things you can do with the patterns. Oh, I was gonna say, I know I had one sitting here that had a string on it. I felt like I was, oh, actually I have a better idea. We'll do a tag. I'm like all over the place. So these are the mini tags. I should be like, oh good, you couldn't see me, like almost stab myself with the scissors. So these came out like kind of for the holidays, and then people were just doing some really cool things with them, and so they continued them. I made a few like ornaments with them, and oh my god, this plastic is like, I cannot get this plastic off. Yeah, so they came out with like a whole bunch of different, you know, things to go with the tags, and a lot of these like pattern things are really, really great to use with them. So you could just do a portion of them. But what I'm actually gonna do, get that out of the way. Let's see, we'll use, maybe I'll do this on one of the other ones as soon as those dry. But just to show you, with, you know, a lot of these transfers, you can use them in so many different ways. I'm just gonna take this one, just move that to the side. I'm just gonna fuzz it, just so it isn't super sticky. And if you're like careful and you line these up just right, so let me just turn this toward myself here. Just want to make sure I'm kind of centered. Let's see. And then just, you know, this one is a tight fit, but, and just make sure, especially when you fuzz, that you, like right here, I can feel there's like a little piece of the terry cloth in there. You want to just make sure it's not going to be in an area that'll interfere with your transfer. Oh my gosh, I have like a little avalanche here. Alright. Now, I don't have another stick to stir. This should be fine because I just used this. Keep doing that. I keep pulling things toward me and not on the camera. So like this would be great for like a housewarming. If you're bringing like a bottle of wine to somebody, and you just put this right on there. You know, when we can go out again. Or you could just make it and put it on your bottle of wine and drink it while you're home. And again, we're not worried about like out here, just the little areas where the actual words are. And every time you know, do something, you're like using such a minimal amount of paste. It's like you could do so many projects with just, yeah, this transfer is very sticky. Even though I fuzzed it, it's still, I was a little bit nervous taking that off. So there's that. You could even put this, well, that might be a little big, but you know, you could do a lot of different things with that. That's still not dry. Shoot. So let's see. Let me grab another pattern piece just to, we'll just make it up as we go here. So now these are the chalkable chips. They have like, if you look, they have kind of a shinier surface, whereas the tags are like that matte finish kind of wood. On this kind of surface, which is like that kind of surface, that's when you sometimes run into trouble with the stickiness and having a hard time peeling it off. And if you don't fuzz the transfer, you can actually, some of the transfer, not like the whole little piece, but some of the colors sometimes will come off on there. So you really want to just be mindful of that. Oh, see, that's awesome. Look what I just did. All right, so this is what you don't want to do. I said about being careful. So and to get this apart, what you don't want to do is just go and rip it apart like that. I can't believe I just did that. But it's good because then I can tell you how to get it apart. If you just run this under some kind of like warm water, definitely not too hot, and just very slowly kind of pull it apart, it'll come apart and it will not be damaged. But for the moment, I'm going to put it right to the side here. And that was just awesome that I did that. I'll just pretend like I did it on purpose. So we'll just take the other pattern piece, and this time I'll hang on to it. Okay. And I just have the fuzzing cloth off to the side here, so. I was at an event once. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm scarred by this. And this little kid, I was demoing and, trying to have it all together, And this little kid, his mom was standing there looking at, what I was doing, and she was asking questions. And I had my, little water bath on the side. And he came up and he's like, "What's this?" And he reaches in and basically grabs the transfer in a pile in his hand. And I was like, "Oh my God." Oh my gosh. I thought it was ruined. I probably said a little more than that, but, and then oh my gosh, I was so mad. But it wasn't ruined. It just felt like it was. I mean, actually, the transfer got pretty crumbled, but it was fine. And this kid was just, I don't know. I don't really want to say anymore because it's not nice. He was old enough to know better. Let's just put it that way. And the mom was like, "Oh, don't touch." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And of course it was a transfer that was a $40 one. It wasn't some $10 one. Oh my gosh. And that's why now when I do events, I put the water where nobody can touch it. So I just used the backer sheet to kind of, so it wouldn't stick to my table. But this is just the backer sheet here. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that, and then I'm just going to set this on the backer sheet and not near the transfer that I just freaking stuck to itself. But so you can use, use the different pieces. I know it's nowhere near Christmas, but you could do something like this and then put initials on top of that. All right. Look at this. I was only planning on doing one thing. And okay, so we'll do this one because this one has thicker lines and that probably isn't 100% dry. Whereas this one is little thin lines. Okay, so what the heck did I just do with it? So we're gonna put this one right on there. And now, especially because we're on the wood surface and there's already a design on there, I want to be extra careful that I really fuzz this. Because I don't want it to stick so much that it lifts off the paste that I just put on there. Oh, I can see lint on it, so it's good. Except there's a piece that goes right into the open area. All right, so I'm just gonna pull this toward me to line this up. Oh, I could hear Rick and Morty in the background. So I want to kind of put it, I don't know what you call that, like offset. I don't know. Hopefully that's somewhat even. Hold on. Sometimes that's like the trick. All right. So this one's actually pretty good. So I'm just gonna like, honestly, I'm like barely pressing it down because I don't want it to pull off what I already did. And I'm not pressing it at all over there. You can even, if you want, you can take your backer sheet. You know, obviously you don't want to get it under where any of the, oh my god, I can't even talk into it. You don't want to get it like under where you're going to be applying the paste. And I'm just, for ease of getting this done quick so it doesn't stick on me, I'm going to go this way. The other thing too, when you are putting paste on top of where there's already paste, I found that I have better luck when I kind of leave it a little on the thicker side. I'm not scraping it all off. I don't know. Because it kind of, when you put the wet paste on top of dry paste, it almost like reactivates the paste underneath, I guess is a good way to put it. Okay, so that's like way thicker than I would normally leave it. Actually, that worked out well. Let's put that under there. All right, we'll move that out of the way. Oh, shoot. I kind of missed a little. All right, that's okay though. So, narrated. But that's all right. Where's my little brush? So, you can do a couple of things when this happens. You can let it dry completely, wash your transfer, and come back and do it again. Or you take a little fine brush and just kind of, you know what, nobody's looking at it that closely, and if someone's at your house and they're looking at it that closely, they need to shut their mouth. You just say, it's handmade. Yeah, I might take the transfer back over it because that looks a little, that was kind of a lot to fill in with a brush. What works well filling in with a brush is when it's just like a little bit. So when I went over it with the paste, even though it was all covered, I wasn't pressing down really hard. Well, not like I wasn't pressing down that much because I didn't want to make it lift the green paste. And I usually don't do layered designs. See, that looks fine. Let me just touch that little. So that's all. If this was a chalkboard, you could just like take it all off and put it back on. So there we go. That doesn't look too bad. So here are the two houses, and that was a little, actually no, that I was thinking that was a little crooked, but it's not. And a tag, and then just so you could see there's, you know, other things you can do with the patterns. So that is it for tonight. And now that I've like gotten almost every piece of the transfer used in this project. And just remember too, like when you're cleaning up, you know, I don't want to have it all flick all over here. Scrape the top edge of your paste so that you don't have anything there before you put the cover back on, and that will help your paste like not dry out, because you'll have a nice seal. I am bad with that sometimes, and then it also makes it a lot easier to open when you're trying to get them to open. So those are tonight's little project, or our project, and then our 2 little bonus projects. All right, have a great night.